Alright guys, here it is. You ready? A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3. I told you so. I've been telling you this would happen all off season long. I've been telling you that they were right for this shit the moment they choked in the Super Bowl last year. But did any of you listen? No. He kept saying I was too negative, that they were just gonna waltz back into the Super Bowl, no problem, right? That's what they were. That's all I heard, right? Of course, I'm livid about being right about this, but it's something I've come to expect, and it's something you should have expected too, with every other team that chokes in the Super Bowl the year prior. The usual suspects were there. I saw it with us constantly playing down to teams. There's also the fact that we lost to the Jets for the first time in our history. And the fact that, well, that's what happens to teams that choke in the Super Bowl. Once again, ego was this team's downfall. The absolute arrogance of this squad from top to bottom, coaches, bench warmers, commentators, fanboys, was on full display all season long. Every fucking time I would hear these fuckers open their mouths, it was about how they were just gonna waltz back to the Super Bowl, no problem. We gotta put it behind us. We gotta learn to grow from this. What fucking growth? And another thing that adds salt to the wound is that this also feels like deja vu. The same shit that occurred in 2010. You act like this was the only time we've ever collapsed like this. Wrong. It's the same shit that happened in 2010. Great start to the season, a bunch of huge question marks, arrogance, and players and fanboys talking shit and then suffering a catastrophic meltdown to end the year. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You're pretty much a meme at this point. Tampa, do your victory lap and talk your shit. You earned this. You more than earned this. Even though you should have put up more points than you did. But either way, you still put Philly right back in their place. Time to fry you with my fire breath once and for all. And once more, baby. All I kept hearing from the fanboys all off-season long, before the season even began, was that, oh, we'll be back. We'll just waltz right back into the Super Bowl. No problem. We got Jalen Carter. We got Nolan Smith. We got all these guys. We got DeAndre Swift. Who's going to stop us? We're unstoppable, y'all said. Well, and after week 14, we had a shitty end of the season. Time to fire everyone. Which one is it, you bipolar fucks? I told you that you should have kept in mind that we choked in the Super Bowl, and history does not favor teams that do that. But all I kept hearing from you was that I was too negative. You can't ever Super Bowl 57. You know what? You need to shove it up your ass. That's what you need to do. And after week 14, that's when you think everything fell apart. Wrong. Did any of you fuckers not see week 6? The fact that we lost to the Jets for the first time in history without their goddamn starting QB for the season, without Aaron Rodgers, without their top defensive players? What about when goddamn Washington torched the starting secondary? Sam fucking Howell, we made him look like prime Peyton Manning. Twice. But as soon as Dallas choked, all of a sudden you did another switcheroo. Oh, we're gonna beat the Bucs. I'm shocked I didn't hear anything about how Baker Mayfield, who was playing with injured ribs, by the way, about how he can't throw a football. He's awful. I've heard that earlier in the year. Baker Mayfield did what he needed to do. Baker Mayfield didn't make mistakes like Jalen did. All you care about are your fucking narratives. Almost, except for the fact that you can't make up your damn minds. And you wonder why I think sports journalism and the modern fan is a total fucking joke. You make me sick. You know, I was ready to turn the corner on Howie. I think a lot of us were. I thought the work he did the past couple years was damn good, even though we couldn't cross the finish line. But this season reinforced what we've been saying about him for years. Let's not forget the fact that he hasn't invested in a linebacker position, and I think we all know why. Let's not forget about the fact that he replaced a Super Bowl winning coach with basically a fucking puppet. Despite all the moves they made, draft or free agency, despite all that, it doesn't necessarily mean he evolved, and it shows in his body of work. 5 playoff wins in 14 years, and that was to Atlanta, who were the defending Super Bowl chokers at the time, Case Keenum, Matt Patricia, Double Doink, a Giants team that was in way over their heads, and Josh Johnson. This would get plenty of executives fired, but not an Eagle Empire. We dealt with Joe Banner being an anchor on the team, and nothing's really going to come out of this as well. But at the end of the day, the problem's traced back to one singular cocksucker, and that is Jeffrey, punk-ass, bitch motherfucker, getting our hopes up every goddamn year. Until we start seeing results, you can fuck off. I think we all owe Doug Peterson an apology. Yeah, he may not have been the most perfect coach. Yeah, he might have made boneheaded decisions. But at least he may be the most overrated coach to ever win the Super Bowl, but he actually got it done, unlike this motherfucker. What exactly has Sirianni accomplished? Exactly. You epitomize the team as a whole. Nothing but talk. Talk all the shit you want about the Chiefs, but do we need to remind you that the Chiefs actually got the job done when it mattered? It should come as no surprise that it should no surprise to anybody, everything that's happened, considering the fact that you come from Todd Haley's coaching tree. Just nothing but sniveling elitism. You're too good to do the basic plays. You gotta make yourself look so much more like a genius. A screen toss on 3rd and 8. Oh, good job there. Going for it all on 4th and 5 against a blitz. Bill Walsh bows down to your glory. No amount of excuses, cliches, or cheesy sayings will prevent your team from playing down to the competition. Once or twice, I get it happens. It's understandable if it happens once or twice. But with you, it has occurred every single fucking game. There's a point where it's on the staff to get a team prepared for anything and everything. This is a professional league and you've done nothing but coast on high-end talent. A lot of those haters were right about you. And now, there's now rumors that you may be out the door. Let's take a look at some of you. The aforementioned losing to the Jets for the first time without their starting QB and without their top defensive players. You were bearer witness to a game-losing drive against a backup quarterback in Drew Lock. You were humiliated by a quarterback who hasn't been in the starter for years. And now you just got humiliated by a quarterback who had injured ribs and didn't have proper practices for days. That's the epitome of being outcoached, and it's a recurring trend. Do you know how many coaches would kill for the level of talent on this team? Yet to say you wasted it would be an absolute understatement. There are rumors that you're going to get fired tomorrow. And if that ends up happening, then all I can say is, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. You know, not many players made me more disappointed as a fan than Jalen Hurts. All that promise he showed last year, almost winning the Super Bowl, being a potential league MVP to regress back to his 2020 form, you were supposed to be the beacon of light, the feel-good blue-collar antithesis of Carson Wentz. But to see him now, he's becoming a massive liability, whether it's really his fault or not. He finished the season with 20 turnovers. 20. And everybody just loves to forget the fact that he fumbled the fucking ball in the Super Bowl last year when there wasn't a goddamn defender near him, which was the difference between... It was a potential difference between a 10-point lead and a 20-point lead. Yeah, people are constantly giving him a pass. Nick Bosa was right about him. All you gotta do is blitz this guy, and this guy is lost. He is a babe in the woods. He is a deer caught in the headlights. I made all those excuses. Yeah, the play calling's still bad, but the quarterback deserves plenty of criticism too. I made excuses for Donovan McNabb and Carson Wentz for all those fucking years. I'm not doing it again with this guy. Yeah, they may be giving him a pass now, but give it time. They will turn on him eventually. And no, you're not Donovan McNabb. He could create plays out of chaos. He could stretch the field, and he can elevate lesser talent unlike you. You might as well get brotherly shoved up the Walt Whitman. Where the fuck did the offense go? Wasn't it supposed to be an elite shit-wrecking group? No third down conversions? Are you fucking kidding me? Why aren't we changing up the schemes? Why are we so fucking vanilla? Why aren't we making any adjustments? Why aren't we adapting? I guess it was like the team as a whole. DOA. You couldn't even get points in literal garbage time. That shows how pathetic you are. I'm not going to waste any damn time on Brian Johnson because I knew from the get-go that he was DOA the moment he was promoted. He was nothing more than a product of the Peter Principle. And he's going to be the main scapegoat, unless even more fanboys have smartened up by now and realized some bigger problems. I'm not going to waste much time on Matt Patricia either, because that is way too good for his useless ass as well. I don't know why he was even brought in to begin with. A lot of people were upset about that, but they kind of brushed it off, but it was still something to think about. Darius Slay was right about you all those years ago, and so was Quandre Diggs. You are cancer incarnate. You made a defensive line consisting of Brandon Graham, Hassan Reddick, Fletcher Cox, Jalen Carter, Josh Sweat, Nolan Smith, and Milton Williams and Jordan Davis looked fucking pedestrian. Do you know how impossible that is? And it was as much of a disaster as we all thought it was at the beginning. Get fired and take your faux tough guy routine to a high school, you fuck. I know I sound like a broken record when I say this, but do you want to know the definitive worst part about all of this? Super Bowl 57 may have been their only chance. I know for some of you it was the way the season ended, but it was really nothing more than the plight of 2010, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. It's a bad sequel to a bad film we've seen way too many times. Regardless of what you want to happen for the offseason, I'm going to ask you a quick question. Do you believe that they'll ever win a Super Bowl with the combination of the 5 guys on the screen? Obviously, the answer is no. Maybe Jalen and Nick with the right men behind them, but definitely not the other 3. If this is indeed Nick's last game, then all I got to say is good fucking riddance. You accomplished absolutely nothing. And I say to him, like I say for the whole team, you should have won the Super Bowl when you had the chance. And there's going to be some more changes that you may like and you may not like. Slay might be gone. They aren't going to pay him. I honestly wouldn't either, not with that ego. He can whine and bitch about the booze on his shitty podcast. James Bradbury, he should be fucking cut. I don't give a shit what it would cost you. Derek Barnett is definitely gone, thank God. Oh wait, we cut him a few months ago. Oh. You probably didn't even notice that, did you? The team is about to get even weaker. The offseason is about to get real interesting. And all this for what? For who? For what? One of the big... Do you know how fucked we're going to be if we don't win the Super Bowl in the next few years? With the current core that we have? That is absolutely fucking embarrassing. I can't even fucking fathom it. It's already... As it stands, it's even worse than the Andy Reid, Donovan McNabb era. We put up with Andy and Donovan for all this fucking years. We're not doing it again with these guys. As it stands, one of the biggest failures in football's history. I called you the football's version of the Chicago Cubs. I take it back. Your football's version of the Atlanta Braves. One fluke title and nothing to show for it since. Fuck this fucking team. Fuck these arrogant fucking fans. And fuck the toxic culture that doesn't win enough Super Bowls, that always chokes when they have the chance, for enabling, encouraging, and flaunting this toxic behavior, for proving me right yet again.